program are solely the opinions of the host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily represent the views of the advertisers, management, staff, or ownership of WCTC.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall. Morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Welcome to Jersey Central with Bert Barron. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. This is the show where Jersey matters. From politics to entertainment, from social issues to lifestyles, from newsmakers to pop culture. If it's Jersey, it's on Jersey Central with Bert Barron.
I meant to do that.
On the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey.
It is 7:08, hour number 2 of Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. It is Bert Barron. Good morning to you. 732-545-9282 is our number. Toll free at 888-545-9282. Video simulcast is live at WCTCAM.com. We're on your smartphone too. Look for us on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the WCTC app. All great ways to connect with us. And of course on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, 1450 WCTC. Just search for us and connect with us there, okay? We will have our contest a little bit later on this morning. Going to be giving away another family 4-pack of tickets to Discover the Dinosaurs at the Garden State Exhibit Center in Somerset. It's coming up this weekend, and your chance to win is on the way in just a bit. Let's get right to the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker Hotline and welcome in my special guest, Jim McCarthy, certified financial planner, who joins us from Directional Wealth Management, which is located in Rockaway, New Jersey. Ins and outs and things you need to know when it comes to transferring a business. Maybe you saw his comments in a recent Wall Street Journal article that was called "A Plan to Pass a Business to the Next Generation," and maybe this is the year that you're considering doing that. So let's get some tips from Jim McCarthy, who's with us today. Hi, Jim. It's Bert from WCTC. How are you?
I'm good, Bert. How are you this morning?
Doing all right. Thank you for getting up nice and early for us and taking some time. I really appreciate it. You know, Jim, maybe this is the year that first or second generation business owner says, man, I'm tired. Every day I've been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years. It's time to kind of pass the torch to, my son, my daughter, the next generation who are going to keep this business alive. What's the first thing that somebody should do if 2016 is the year they're going to transfer a business?
Well, I hate to say it, Bert, but if 2016 is the year they want to do it, they're about 5 years too late. You really need about 5 years to sort of think it out, think your plan out, and then put it into action to implement it. Let's say if you wanted to do it in this year, you should have been working on this for the last 4 or 5 years. Not that you shouldn't start thinking about it right now. If you're thinking about it as you described, time to pass it on, then now is the time to start to work with some professionals that have experience in this area to start to build a plan to achieve that goal.
So you kind of get the ball rolling this year that hopefully by, 2020 or so, you'll have a plan in place and you can make hopefully a smooth transition, right?
Exactly, because what I like to say to my clients, Bert, is that this kind of thing is not an event, it's a process. Yes, it becomes an event eventually, but it's really a process that you're going through.
Okay.
So it's really, determining what that internal succession plan is, and then starting to implement the plan to make that happen.
Now, is it a good idea, Jim, to say, for example, I have a business where I sell, appliances, electronics or something, and my son has been working with me. Do I elevate him? Do I maybe make him a partner and we would kind of work together and then just kind of transfer everything over to him? Is that a good idea for a business owner? Something like a model like that?
That might work, Bert. It depends on how many people are in the family and who's, you may, in many cases, in the article I wrote for the Wall Street Journal, it was a family with one son and 2 daughters. So the son was in the business and wanted to continue in the business. The daughters didn't really want to be involved in the business. So how do you make it equitable across all of the siblings with only one of them wanting to remain in the business? So if it's a single child family, it's a little bit easier than if there's multiple children. But it's still not a bad idea to start the process of getting the child who's in the business, actively in the business, more involved in the management of the business and possibly even into some ownership aspects of the business, so that when the time comes for the parent to walk away or to really go into retirement, that successor has been brought up to speed.
Okay. Now I know there's always the option, I guess, of selling the business and selling it to an outsider, maybe a larger company or something. A, are there benefits to that? And B, why can't you just sell your business to someone who's in your own family? Can you do that?
Well, you can. You certainly can, Bert. But there are pros and cons to both. Obviously, an external sale tends to mean potentially, giving up on your clients if you've got relationships with the people you do business with for a long time, and you may want to make sure how they're taken care of in the future. So you lose a little bit of control on that with an external sale. There are tax implications to both scenarios, an internal succession or an external sale. Ideally, if you're going to do it internally, which personally I think is the best if you've got a child who's in the business, you have a little bit more flexibility, or you can use a little more creativity in how you structure that transaction to mitigate the tax implications. And as always, as I said, part of what you want to do is you want to have a team of advisors. So you want to have a good financial planner who understands this process. You want to have a good tax expert, and you want to have a good legal expert. Because even with an internal succession, you want to make sure that it's done properly, legally, and written down.
Sure. Our guest is Jim McCarthy this morning. He is from Directional Wealth Management, which is located in Rockaway, New Jersey. And we'll give out his contact information in just a moment. We're talking about effectively transferring a business and what a process that is. Like he said, it's not an event. It's a lengthy process that has to be done the right way. And sometimes it takes years. But taking that first step is, of course, very important. Obviously, the state has their hand involved in this, Jim, when it comes to selling a business. How about a transfer? Are there things involved that maybe there are fees, or maybe the person who you transfer the business to now all of a sudden is indebted to the state of New Jersey for some ridiculous fee? Does that exist at all in business transfers?
Oh, there's some, sure. I mean, there's not only the income tax aspect of it, both federally and state. There's also potentially transfer, especially if you're dealing with real estate in the business. There are definitely real estate transfer fees. If you're just in a service-oriented business where you're just basically transferring the service clients to another, like say a plumber, for example, probably less so than if you're a business that owns it. Like if you're a plumber but you own your own building, then they're related to the real estate. There might be some transfer effects on that. So it depends. I mean, again, that's why you really need to, as I said, you need to first determine. I think the first step, as you described, Bert, is do you want to pass this business and keep it in your family, or are you willing to sell it to an outside person? Once you've determined that, then you sort of take that course of action, and then you start to build your plan to how you achieve that.
Are there any exceptions made, Jim, or is the process any easier in the event of, like, say, a sudden catastrophic illness? Let's say, mom or dad all of a sudden is diagnosed with some life-threatening disease. They've only got, months or years left to live, and obviously they have to get that succession plan has to kind of be fast-forwarded and moved up. Is there anything that makes that process easier? Or, dad went ziplining on vacation and the zip line broke and he's not coming home and we're stuck now. What are we going to do? Is there anything in the event of some sort of tragic incident that makes it easier?
Nothing that makes it easier. In fact, that's the scenario that's probably the worst case scenario, Bert, which is why we generally advise our clients who are business owners to have a succession plan in place, even if it's just a contingency plan, which might be a sale to a business partner or to another business that's in a ssimilar industry who could take over your clients and try and ease that transition. Because in that scenario, everybody's affected, right? The business owner, his or her family, and then all the clients of that business, and the employees of that business. So ideally, you don't want to wait till that happens. You want to have a written down succession plan that might not be the ultimate thing. It might just be something that kicks in, as you just described, in the unforeseen sudden death or disability. But you then also, that's not your long-term solution.
Sure.
But you need to have something. You really should have something in place right now. Every business owner should, for that very reason.
Sure.
And many times, as I said, in my business, for example, I have a gentleman who's got his own practice. I have my own practice, but we have a mutual agreement that if something were to happen to me, zip lining or whatever, or him, then we would jump in and take over his clients, and then basically provide some monetary compensation to his family or her family. But that's only in the sense that neither one of us are planning to sell our businesses at the moment. It's not our long-term succession, but it's our sort of contingency plan in case of emergency.
Good stuff, Jim. We have to wrap up, but how can someone get some more information about directional wealth management, or perhaps reach out to speak with you? What's the best way?
Either way, a website is mywealthdirection.com. That's all one word. Or they can call us on the phone, 973-771-5120.
Excellent information. Jim, thank you for your time this morning. Have a great day. Great to talk with you, and thanks again.
Same here, Bert. Hope to talk to you again.
You
Bye-bye
bet.
now.
You bet. Take care. All right, my guest, Jim McCarthy. Wow, that was some good information, huh? On the rare